While nothing has been tabled yet, these could be some viable ways to help businesses and keep the peace on a historically debated topic. This subsidized initiative is something that NDG residents are embracing and will shape a more affordable and sustainable future. While large festivals as you know them may continue to be closed for a while, it hasn't stopped some. Phenomena, a live performance festival, is featuring an interactive podcast walking tour in the Maya Land, and live laser projections have been hosted by Mural Festival and Map Montreal. Lumifest is projecting the works of 4 artists throughout the month of October in Longueuil.
The artists can do it even if the COVID situation stays. So it makes people happy to see it, and it makes artists happy to do it.
Despite these uncertain times, artists will continue to find ways to unite the community, even if at a distance. Marc Olivier is an illustrator and muralist in Montreal who has found inspiration during the pandemic. He has been working on a series called Walls of Joy since the pandemic first began.
The only goal is to just bring light and joy in people's day during this really dark times.
Very, very dirty liquid group.
Gabriel Cavero is a Villeray resident who was evicted from his apartment due to renovations. Being semi-retired, he's being forced to settle down for a studio in poor conditions.
I have it 64, almost 64. Look, I go to the retire. Where I going? I working for what? For living like this? It's not correct.
Demonstrators like him gathered in front of the Borough City Hall on October 28 to oppose a recent motion proposed by the City Council, which could make evictions easier on the renovations.
This year, Nessia Zabili celebrated the Jewish holiday of Sukkot on the back of a pickup truck.
All I have to say is wow. Really wow.
Sukkot is normally a community activity where dozens of families hop from house to house in celebration of the Jewish New Year.
We decided to bring the sukkah to the people that we know, to the Jewish community that we know.
Rabbi Josh Berkowitz drove between houses to deliver a space for prayer. In the sukkah, the rabbi helps deliver a blessing to mark Sukkot and a thanks to God.
It was a sign of our times. And it was something instead of nothing. And sometimes something is a lot better than nothing.
Abira was painted in Point St. Charles by communities of artists and activists proclaiming one message: we connect. The project aimed to unite those in different countries currently protesting for causes that are ultimately very similar.
I am very adamant about the idea that today's event is not just about Hong Kong. The mural We Connect today is really about connecting with all the other peoples and groups who are also facing a similar sort of oppression, which is happening, sadly, far too commonly all around the world today.
The NDG Borough has launched a new ecological subsidy program, encouraging residents to use sustainable hygiene products, reducing landfill waste while helping families minimize cost. Nikki Schiebel, coordinator of Eco Quartier, an environmental resource center facilitating the program, is excited about the launch and what it will do for her community.
I've had experience using the reusable pads. I have to say, from my own experience, it's just as easy as anything else. I can't really say it's that big a deal. It saved me a fortune in money. We're really happy that mothers are super interested. We're starting to have some come to our office with these tiny little babies in their arms because they have to have the subsidy within 3 months.
A workshop was held at a maternity store to inform locals of reusable diapers and pads that can be reimbursed through the initiative. Brett Vachon and his girlfriend have come to the workshop to learn more about how this project can benefit them.
You can read about the different models online, like the all-in-ones and the two-in-ones, and it doesn't really make sense until you can actually see what they actually are. So here it was a good thing to actually get a chance to kind of actually see the physical object and to ask questions to someone who's already used them. So if you really look at a conscious way of conscious consumption, I guess.
Now that Quebec has confirmed that it's in its second wave of COVID-19, there is even more uncertainty to what the future of restaurants will be. If they weren't in a tough spot already, they may be later on.
Subsidies right now are a big help. They're probably going to pull us through till December. The problem after December is that we're heading towards a down period in the industry.
With restrictions easing up over the course of the summer, it helped restaurants like La Rosemary stay on top of the current situation.
If there is no financial relief, yes, restaurants are at risk, many can be closed down definitely because with the limited capacity, as I said, it will be tough to generate enough sales to be not profitable, but just to keep their head over water.
With the second wave in effect, the possibility of closing down dining rooms again remains an option for the Quebec government, leading to restaurants having even less clientele in the winter months, which illustrates the importance of financial relief.
It's a live performance, just not a live audience. But with the limited options to perform, an online audience is enough to keep Jason Valentino happy.
It's a lot. It's a lot for us as musicians, not having to absorb that feeling, being on stage to, showcase what we do best, and it's missed.
The Wheel Club, located in the NDG, has kept their traditions by showcasing artists 4 times a week through their Facebook page. They rely on the donations from regulars who have been going there for years.
Please send us your donations, either via, we're talking like 3 and sometimes even 4 generations all partying together. But it's almost like it gets passed down from generation to generation. When everybody was feeling so isolated and missing live music and missing community and all that kind of stuff, so now they can all show up to Facebook and actually see each other in the chat.
It's places like the Wheel Club that give life to music, and we're able to at least showcase our talents.
Live streaming brings optimism to the community, but is it enough to pay the bills? Bernard Leblanc from the GMMQ says it helps, but it's not always enough.
But for a musician side of it, it's recording. It was always an extra money. So recording was like, you do live performance, you're paid for live performance. If you do recording of that performance, you're paid an extra. But now it all becomes like the normal.
With no end to the pandemic yet on the horizon, the music scene will continue to find innovative ways to get their voices heard. Maya Amoah, The City, Montreal. Quebec Premier François Legault has announced that changes will soon be made to Bill 101, strengthening the language charter. Expansion of the bill could include extending restrictions to cégeps and implement language rules in federal institutions and smaller businesses. But many Quebecers feel that as the province is going through a pandemic, this is not the time for a debate.
Not only do we embrace the diversity of language experiences that we have here in Quebec and have taught ourselves and our children to speak French and live in French when we are required to do so in the public sphere. But now, in the middle of a pandemic?
Crèmerie Think Sunshine, an ice cream parlor in LaSalle that now sells baked goods and artisanal crafts, is under investigation by the OQLF after someone complained last month, despite her signage complying with the rules.
I already paid for my signage, my branding, my logo, in addition to me having to pay again to change it all. And anybody can call again and complain, and the same process will restart. It's a waste.
George Zico wants to help mitigate these fines. He has founded the OQDLLA, an association offering businesses free translation services.
We thought we could help. So we wanted businesses to understand what the laws are and make it a little more clear so they don't have to go through pages and books. And we also wanted to help the OQLF understand where there were gaps in the Grand Dictionnaire Terminologique.
While nothing has been tabled yet, these could be some viable ways to help businesses and keep the peace on a historically debated topic.
And I totally understand that. I don't expect that tomorrow everything will be in French, but I do think that a little bit of effort and progressive transition is important in order to ensure the preservation of our language.
Concordia News, Maya Amoah, Montreal.